Hello, 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 everybody. Hey, it's Frank coming back at you today with something a little new. Um, I just thought I'd try something a little new, and I, some of you may or may not know that I'm a huge fan of all combat sports, especially MMA. And if you are a fan of MMA, you know that tonight, or not tonight, I'm sorry, tomorrow night is a huge night for the sport of MMA. We have the return of ruthless Robbie Lawler and the great Nick Diaz, along with two title fights between Alexander the Great Volkanovski and Brian Ortega for the featherweight title, and Valentina Shevchenko and Lauren Murphy for the women's flyweight title. So I just wanted to come on tonight, talk a little bit about these fights, break them down a little bit, make some predictions. Hopefully, have somebody maybe join in and you know and talk a little bit. So let's get this thing started. This is UFC 266. As I stated already, the main event is Alexander the Great Volkanovski, the current 145-pound champion, versus Brian T. City Ortega. The odds for that fight currently stand at minus 170 for Volkanovski and plus 150 for Ortega. Not really a fight that I would want to put money on, but you can do what you like. Our co-main event is Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, the current women's flyweight champion, versus number 4 ranked Lauren Lucky Murphy at a plus 750. Valentina currently is sitting at a minus 1250. That one you might want to put a little bit of money on if you think Lauren can win the fight. In our next fight, we have ruthless Robbie Lawler returning against the great Nick Mother Diaz. What's up, y'all? Nick Diaz is coming back. He's going to do his damn thing. And let's hope that he can, you know, put Robbie flat on his face like he did before, just to put on a good show. I wish no harm on anybody, but it would be nice to see Nick come back, get a good knockout, get a good finish, and yeah. So all right, and moving on, our next fight on the card is Curtis Razor Blades, the number 5 ranked heavyweight, versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike, the number 7 ranked heavyweight. The odds on that one are Blades at minus 210 and Rosenstrike at a plus 245. And to round out our main card, we have Jessica Andrade, the number 2 flyweight women's fighter, against Cynthia Calvillo, the number 9 ranked women's flyweight fighter. That is a sleeper fight, if you ask me, on this main card. That is going to be a good one. I think that that's a hard fight to make a pick or a prediction on. Honestly, both of those ladies are awesome fighters. Calvillo came out really strong at the beginning of her career, and we all know, if you're an MMA fan, what Jessica Andrade is capable of. So, all right, let's get started, shall we? Um, all right. So, as I stated before, this is UFC 266 taking place on International Fight Week at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Prelims start at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is for me. You folks over there in Great Britain, that would be what? That would be 3 a.m. for you. Sorry about that. You guys have to stay up kind of late if you want to catch this one. The prelims can be caught on ESPN News or ESPN Plus if you are a subscriber of that. The main event starts at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 a.m. in Britain. Yeah. I think I might have just screwed that up real bad. But nonetheless, it's going to be late for you folks over there in the UK. So let's start with breaking down this main event. Alexander the Great Volkanovski, man, what a good champion this guy has been. Um, he weighed in at 144.5 pounds. As I said before, his odds are at minus 170 currently. Of course, these are always changing and on the move. He is the current featherweight champion. He's on a 19 fight win streak. Man, this guy is a beast. He is a little guy, a bit, a brawler from Australia. He has defeated so many featherweight greats. Names like Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez, Darren Elkins, and Max Holloway. Not once, but twice. So yeah, Alexander is definitely a guy if you're a fight fan that you'd want to check out. He is fighting Brian T City Ortega. His record is 15-1. He weighed in at 144.5 pounds. His odds are currently at plus 150. Since 2015, Brian's record is 7-1, including incredible performances against the Korean Zombie, his last fight, which was awesome. Frankie Yeager, who he knocked out with a vicious uppercut and an amazing jumping guillotine choke that he caught on Cub Swanson. That, I don't know if you guys saw that fight or not, but man, just that was amazing to see it if you're a fan of MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Um, So yeah, his only loss is to the former champ Max Holloway, and he holds a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under the great Henry Gracie. These two were the coaches on the Return of the Ultimate Fighter, which came back this year. It Ortega started out at 4-0 on that, and then it kind of went downhill for him, and um, Volkanovski ended up having 4 of his fighters in the finals and ended up winning the show. These two, they do not like each other. If you've seen any of the press conferences or anything this week, it's there seems to be a little bit of bad blood going on there between these two guys. So I think it's going to be a great fight. So I got one watching right now. We got any comments, questions? You want to join? You want to talk? You want to get in on this a little bit? I'm not going to leave too much dead air here. Okay. All right. So let's move on to our co-main event. Our co-main event is against Valentina Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. What a beast this woman is. She is a Peruvian fighter, a Russian / Peruvian fighter. She is a Muay Thai and kickboxing specialist. Her record is 21-3. She is the current women's flyweight champion. Since 2015, she stands at 11-2, with her only losses to the current featherweight champion in the women's division of Amanda the Lioness Nunes. That's not too shabby, if you ask me. If you're going to lose to anybody, Amanda Nunes, yeah, she's a great champion, and there's no shame at all in losing to that woman. Shevchenko has notable wins over names like Holly Holm, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and Kaylin Chukagian. She is fighting Lauren Lucky Murphy. Record of 15-4. Her odds are currently at plus 750. She is the women's former Invicta champion at 125 pounds, I believe. I didn't do my research well enough on that one. She competed in Tough 26 for Team Alvarez. Unfortunately, she did lose her first bout in the first round to the eventual winner of the show, Nico Montano, who became the first ever flyweight women's champion in the UFC. Um, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding her because she ended up not doing well, and she's no longer even with the UFC. So good for Lauren Murphy. Uh, her last fight, she defeated Joanne Calderwood at UFC 263. Her other notable wins are against Roxanne Modafferi, Andrea KGB Lee, and Barb Honchak. For those of you who don't know, Barb Honchak, she is one of the um, how do you say this? She's one of the women who paved the road for women to be in MMA, for women like Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm and Valentina Shevchenko, and for Lauren Murphy to get a win over her, that's a big deal. She's coming from the MMA lab. She holds a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, and I think that fight is very, very interesting. The odds are way skewed on that one. Let me see. I think they had last time I checked. Yeah, they have Valentina Shevchenko at a minus 1250 on that. That is insane, if you ask me. If you are a betting man or woman or non-binary folk, um, yeah, I would definitely want to put some money on that fight because if Lauren Murphy is able to win, you're gonna win very big. All right, I got still got one watching. Any comments, questions so far? Nothing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my pick here for the main event of the evening, which, as I stated, Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Brian T. City Ortega. Wow. A lot of the lead up this week to this fight has been really good. I've been watching a lot of the content on the UFC and ESPN's YouTube channels. These guys do not like each other. They've been going back and forth. They had a big beef on The Ultimate Fighter, and I I think I'm gonna go with Brian Ortega on this one. I think Ortega is gonna get it done in the third round via submission. That's my official pick for that. I think Ortega's slick. He's gonna be able to um, handle the very crafty stand up of Volkanovski and be able to take him down. He's gonna be able to get him on the ground, and he's gonna be able to do what he does best with that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And I think he's gonna catch Volkanovski in a submission. And so I'm saying, and new featherweight champion, Brian T. City Ortega, which lines up an awesome fight between him and Max Holloway, which is something that I absolutely would love to see because I'm a big fan of Max Holloway all the way. That dude is not one of, I think he is the greatest featherweight of all time in the UFC. Um, Moving on. Okay, so my pick for that co-main event that I spoke about a little while ago, um, that was Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Um, yeah, I think it'd just be foolish to not pick Valentina in this one. I like Lauren Murphy. I like what she does. She's a good fighter. She's a good person from what I've seen. I don't know her personally, obviously, but yeah, I just think Valentina gets it done. I think that one's going to go the distance. I'm going to give it a 50-45 in favor of Valentina on that one. Um, yeah, I just think Valentina is going to use her footwork, use her kickboxing ability, and she's just going to be able to pick apart Lauren Murphy and slowly work her down and get the win. Um, But either way, man, I'm telling you guys what, if you're not a fan of the UFC and you don't normally buy these cards, I understand they're expensive. They're kind of hard to get, or not hard to get, but you know what I'm saying. You got to get this one, man. I'm telling you, this is gonna be the card to see. This card is so stacked from top to bottom. Let me just read you off some of the fights on the undercard. Even on the undercard, on the prelims, we got Marlon Moraes versus Merab Dvalishvili. That is a very interesting fight. Marlon Moraes is a former, um, wow, did I'm trying to remember now. I want to say that no, I don't believe he won the bantamweight title, but he came in like a tornado when he first came over from Bellator. I want to say, Hmm, that might be wrong. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, I hit Marlon Moraes is at a plus 210 currently. He's the number 7 ranked bantamweight in the world. Murad Dvalishvili, he's at a minus 260 right now. He's the number 9 ranked bantamweight. In that fight, I think I'm going to take Marlon. Marlon, he's a little beast, man. Like I said, he's like a little tornado in there. He comes in and that guy hits hard. He's got great footwork. He's got good takedown ability. And yeah, I think he's gonna get it done. Next, here's another sleeper, if you ask me. Dan the Hangman Hooker, the number 9 lightweight, at a minus 180 versus Nasrat Hakparast. Um, who's unranked currently at a plus 155. So that one is kind of close to just a pick 'em, but how can you go against Dan Hooker on this? That guy, man, he has some of the most memorable fights in the UFC. Um, he is very slick with his boxing. He's got good power, um, got good takedown ability, and yeah, I'm gonna take Hooker in that one. And also, we have a heavyweight fight on this card too, if I believe. Let me go back and look here. Yes, we do. So, on the second fight of our main card is a heavyweight fight. Yeah, we got some heavyweights here, guys. Curtis Razor Blades, the number 5 heavyweight, versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike at number 7 heavyweight. Um, wow, that's a hard one to pick for, honestly. This is kind of a toss up for me. I'm a fan of both of these guys. They're both great. Curtis Blades has looked amazing in the past. He's put several guys to sleep, and Rosenstrike lost a very, very close fight recently. I apologize. I didn't have enough time to do as much research as I wanted, but seem I not seem to, but I do remember Rosenstrike losing a very, very close fight um, recently. All right. So, all right. You know what? Fuck it. Let's talk Nick Diaz, right? Right? Why not? In 2004, Nick Diaz came to the UFC and he fought ruthless Robbie Lawler. This, if you're a fight fan, is one of the most memorable fights that has ever happened in the UFC. Um, you can if you go back and you rewatch it, it's great, and you can hear the commentary from Joe Rogan, and he's saying Nick's in his head, and Nick's just standing there the whole time going, "What bitch, what?" And he's in his face, and he's slapping him, it was a great fight, and it ended up with a KO victory by Nick Diaz. However, Robbie Lawler went on a real tear after that. He became the welterweight champion. He defeated several um, several good fighters. Like oh, geez, Roy McDonald. He defeated. Hang on, let me go back to my notes here. Okay, so let me back up a second. So Robbie Lawler, he's 28-15. He weighed in at 184 pounds. His odds right now are at minus 120. His debut was at UFC 137. His rematch with Nick Diaz from 2004 at UFC 47 was a defeat via KO, TKO. Uh, at the time, he wasn't too happy about it. He didn't agree with it. But Nick caught him with a nasty right hook in that exchange and put Robbie flat on his face. And I very much expect, or not expect, I very much hope the same thing can happen this time. Um, Listen, I like Robbie Lawler. I followed him for a long time. His fights with Roy McDonald and Cowboy Cerrone and Jake Allenberger, Carlos Condit. The list goes on and on. This guy is a warrior. And but man, we're talking about Nick Diaz here. I mean, this guy doesn't, just like his little brother Nate, they don't have the greatest records in the world, but these guys come to fight. I tell you what, these guys, they are not afraid to get in there, get in your face, talk some shit, take a beating if they have to, and then put your ass to sleep. And I'm not a big fan of how Nick has been talking this week about how he hates fight week and he's not enjoying it and all this and that. Um, I think a lot of that might just be him being humble. Um, but who knows? I mean, maybe not. But here's my pick. This is my thing. I think Nick Diaz gets the job done. I think in typical Diaz fashion, he's going to come out and he's going to slowly pick apart, like those Diaz boys do. They so Robbie Lawler is a brawler. He comes out full steam ahead, trying to take your head off every second. The Diaz boys, they're more of a I will hit you with 50%. I'm going to hit you with 200 punches at 50% as opposed to your 12 punches at 100%. And I'm going to do a lot more damage. And I think that's what's going to happen. If I hope that actually makes some kind of sense to you people. Um, the these Diaz boys, they just know how to get it done, and this is really what made me want to do this because I am so excited. Uh, I'll show you here. Yeah, you see this? Diaz Nation all the way, baby. So yeah, I'm really excited for this comeback, and this fight in particular. This was a fight that was a big deal back in the day. Um, when these two originally fought in 2004, Robbie Lawler was knocking everybody out. I mean, he was putting people in orbit. And Nick Diaz comes out there, he gets in his face, and he says, "What, bitch?" And then he slaps him straight. Watch the fight. I'm telling you, watch it. He slaps him with an open hand. This is kind of a thing of the Diaz boys. They like to do this thing called the Stockton slap. It's great. But yeah, I think in this one, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna go the distance. I really do. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think there's gonna be a finish either way. I think it's gonna go the distance. I think Diaz picks apart Robbie, shot by shot, and eventually just wears him down enough. And if there is a finish, I think it'll be mid to late fifth round. Um, Yeah, well, that's another thing that's interesting about this fight actually, is that this fight is not a main event or a championship fight, but it is scheduled for 5 rounds. That is unheard of in the UFC, except for the Diaz brothers. Dana White, man, for all the shit that he talked about these boys back in the day, saying that Nick was nothing but trouble and Nate couldn't move the needle. Um, he's giving these boys what they want. Nate got a 5 round fight hit in his last fight. He was not in the main event. It was not a title fight, but he got 5 rounds. Unfortunately, he ended up losing the fight. Um, but that happens. Um, a little bit more about Nick Diaz here. Nick Diaz, his record is 26-9-0 with 2 no contests. His last fight was against Anderson Silva at UFC 183, which some of you may remember. That was I wouldn't call that one a fight. I would say that was more of an um, entertainment show. You had Nick laying down on the mat, and he was just playing with Anderson the whole time. I wish they would have done more fighting in that one. It would have been way more entertaining. Uh, Silva ended up coming out with the win. There was a lot of controversy afterwards because Diaz got popped for marijuana, and there, you know, there's just a whole nother mess around that thing we don't really need to get into. So that victory was eventually overturned for Silva, and it's declared a draw. Um, Nick is a former Strikeforce champion. He held that belt at welterweight from 2010 to 2011 when he vacated it to come to the UFC. And his last win in the UFC was a unanimous decision victory over the legend BJ Penn at UFC 137. That was a great fight. That was in 2011. If you haven't seen that one, go back and watch that one. It was good. Um, so I kind of feel like I'm going all over the place here. So I'm just going to start from the bottom of the card, and I'm just going to make my picks. And I've never done anything like this, so I am just gonna I'm gonna make my picks, and let's see how it goes when the fights are over tomorrow night, shall we? All right. I've already told you guys how I feel about the 3 main events, so I won't go into those again. Um, but starting the prelims, we have Roxanne Modafferi, the number 15 featherweight women's fighter, against Talia Santos. Modafferi is at a plus 310. Talia Santos is at a minus 410. Um, hey, Charlie, how's it going, man? Sorry, I just saw your comment. Um, I'm gonna take Roxanne Modafferi in this one. Um, she is a very unorthodox fighter. And I think she can get the job done. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Talia Santos. That might be a bad thing. Might be, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna take Roxanne Modafferi in that one. I think Roxanne. I'm not gonna make a round or a method decision on that one. I'm gonna just say that Roxanne gets the win. Uh, at heavyweight, we have Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Chris Dawkins. There's another sleeper fight. If you guys haven't seen Chris Dawkins fight, this guy is a beast. He comes out and he is a killer. Right now, Abdurakhimov, he weighed in at 258 pounds, and Dawkins weighed in at 231 pounds. So there's going to be quite a size difference in this match. It's going to be interesting to see how Chris Dawkins handles that weight difference. Um, that being said, I'm going to take Dawkins in this one. I normally would go with the Russian fighters because those guys are just killers, and they're so good, every one of them. Every one of them, from Habib Nurmagomedov to Mareb Dvalishvili. to, there's just so many, so many. These guys are so good. Um, Next we have Dan Hangman Hooker at a -180 versus Nasrat Haqparast at a +155. That's an interesting fight. Um, I think I already said something about this one, but Hooker, man, let me see. Let me see. Hooker had this fight. Oh, the fight between Dan Hooker in 2020 and his fight between himself and Dustin Poirier. Those two fights were awesome. They were great to watch. Good stuff. Hooker is a guy who comes out. He's not, he can wrestle, he can do his thing, but uh, he's a little misleading because you look at the guy and you don't really think that he's a fighter. Um, but this guy will come out, he'll get in your face. He's not afraid to take a shot. He's got a great chin, and I think he gets the job done against Nasrat Haqparast, um, who is no slouch in his own right. Um, Up next on the prelims, topping off the prelims on ESPN News or ESPN Plus, whatever you get in your area, is Marlon Moraes, the number 7 ranked bantamweight, versus Merab Dvalishvili, the number ranked bantamweight, um, number 9 ranked. I might not have said that. Um, that's also, man, I alluded a little bit to this earlier. Like I said, I've kind of been going all over the place, and I apologize for that. This is my first time doing something like this. I'm a big fight fan, and I enjoy talking this stuff, and I kind of wish I had somebody to bounce off of. It's a little weird doing it by myself, but what the hell, right? In this one, I'm taking Marlon. I've just seen too much good work out of him. I think he's going to come in there. He is going to he's going to use that footwork. He's going to use his hands. I think Marlon gets. I think Marlon gets a second round finish. If you ask me, that's my official prediction for that one. Um, yeah. Um, I'm sorry. I apologize to my one viewer watching here, whoever you are. Thank you for being here. By the way, I really appreciate it. Um, so yeah, it's really honestly. I thought I would take a little bit longer than this, but that's really about all I got. Um, I'm really excited for this. Let's just say that. I keep saying that, and I'm going to keep saying that. I'm really excited for this fight. Um, I yeah, I always look forward to a good fight, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, Invicta, um, K1, uh, Bellator, UFC, whatever it may be. I like watching jiu-jitsu, Eddie Bravo's invitationals. Those are always good to see. That combat jiu-jitsu. So I'm just a fight fan in general, and I'm really excited to see this. And the return of Nick Diaz has really what's made me want to maybe give this whole fight breakdown thing a shot. And who knows, maybe somebody will see this, like what I say, or not like what I say. That's okay too. Don't be afraid to smash that dislike button, which one of you already have. That's okay. I still love you. Um, yeah. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off right here. And just to reiterate one more time, my main card picks are I'm going to take Ortega by submission. I think he gets the job done. Co-main event, got to take Chefchanko. You'd be stupid not to. But if you're a betting man or woman, put a little bit of money on Lauren Murphy, because if it comes out that she can get the job done, you're going to have a good payday on that one. And the people's main event, man. Ruthless Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. The king is back. This guy is a fan favorite. People are so excited to see him come back finally, and I am too. And even my kids and I, I got 4 kids, 15 and 19. We've been talking about it all week. We all can't wait to see what's going to happen. So, all that being said, I hope everybody enjoys the fights. Watch UFC 266. Order it on ESPN Plus. Watch all the behind the scenes coverage on their YouTube channels, which I have left links to down below. Watch Embedded. Watch the countdown shows. Watch the press conferences. Been a lot of interesting stuff happening this weekend. Or this week. So, with all that being said, thank you to my one viewer for being here. And I am going to go for now. Everybody, have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights. And let's try this again some other time when I can maybe have somebody else to bounce off of. I will see you guys later. I'll be back with some new debunking content here soon. I've got something in the works with a special friend of mine, which I'm not really going to say right now. But yeah, I'm working on something that we're going to do. And yeah, I'll be back soon. I hope to see everybody there. Until then, stay safe, take care of each other, and be good. Bye, y'all.